This page is the front cover of Nintendo Power, featuring iconic characters Mario, Wario, Donkey Kong, and Princess Peach racing in karts, highlighting the featured game Mario Kart Super Circuit. The cover promotes various content inside, including advanced strategies for games like Mega Man Battle Network, Jurassic Park 2-1, Park Builder, Klonoa, Empire of Dreams, and Lego Bionicle, Quest for the Toa. It also lists N64 specials for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and Madden NFL 2002, plus Game Boy Color extras covering Tomb Raider, Curse of the Sword, and Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. This cover promises a packed issue with tips and features on popular titles across multiple Nintendo platforms. This page kicks off with a high-energy scene from Mario Kart Super Circuit, showing iconic characters like Mario, Wario, Donkey Kong, and Peach battling it out on the track. It's all about getting the competitive edge straight from the source. Nintendo Power. The page highlights that the magazine is essential for mastering games like Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance and keeping up with the latest for GameCube, promising tips, tricks, secret maps, and in-depth reviews. It pushes a subscription offer for 12 issues, saving you a massive 66% off the cover price, and throws in a bonus gift like an exclusive Game Boy Advance guide featuring games such as Advance Wars and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival, or even a Mario Kart t-shirt. It's the ultimate way to stay ahead in titles across both systems, ensuring you're always race ready. This page announces the return of the legend, Tony Hawk, in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. The game is showcased for both the Nintendo 64 and Game Boy Advance, promising bigger action than ever before. On the Game Boy Advance, players get 3D skating action in the palm of their hand, with new graphics and full 3D environments to pull off insane combos and signature moves, skating as Tony Hawk or one of the other top pros. The Nintendo 64 version delivers the full sequel experience, with more riders, levels, and new tricks. It features the Deep Park editor for designing custom skate parks, and the Create a Skater feature. You can skate as one of the many top pro skaters, or your own creation, and compete in sick multiplayer modes. The game boasts a roster of skateboarding's top pros, and a soundtrack featuring hip-hop and punk bands. The Game Boy Advance version is available now, while the Nintendo 64 version released in September 2001. This page is your essential guide to Volume 148 from September 2001, the Contents page, laying out everything you need to dive into. The big feature this month is the comprehensive strategy guide for Mario Kart Super Circuit, promising deep dives into battle arenas and item usage to secure that top spot on the podium. You'll find strategies for a packed lineup of games, including Mega Man Battle Network, Jurassic Park 2-1, Park Builder, Klonoa, Empire of Dreams, Lego Bicycles, and the recently highlighted Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, alongside Madden NFL 2002 and Tomb Raider, Curse of the Sword. Special features tease upcoming Nintendo GameCube excitement, a look at NHL Hits 2002, the GBA Tactical Gem Advance Wars, and a preview of Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. Plus, all the regular departments like Players Pulse, Game Watch, and the Poke Center are here. The V-Design team is credited for the awesome layout and illustration work. It's a stacked issue covering everything from kart racing to skateboarding and RPGs. This page dives into Players Pulse, featuring reader feedback and questions centered around the recent E3 announcements. Gamers share their excitement and opinions on the Nintendo GameCube, discussing its impressive graphics, size, confirmed release date of November 5, 2001, and retail price of $199.95. The average GCN game price is noted at $49.99. Readers also ask about console features, like the built-in Rumble controller and memory card capacity, and discuss anticipated games such as Luigi's Mansion, Animal Forest, and Super Smash Bros. Melee. There's also a warning about tampering with the Game Boy Advance screen's flicker control. The letter of the month reveals the literal meaning of the word Nintendo. Explaining it means, we do what we can, the best that we can, and await the results. The page concludes with contact information for Nintendo Power subscriptions and game support services. This page features the Players Pulse section, celebrating 2 contest winners. One winner explored Australia and met with Nintendo Power staff, while the other attended E3, getting hands-on time with upcoming GameCube titles like Wave Race, Blue Storm, Luigi's Mansion, and Super Smash Bros. Melee, tying into the previous page's E3 focus. The section also answers reader questions, confirming Mario has appeared in 46 games across all Nintendo systems, and discussing upcoming All-Star Baseball games for the GameCube. It addresses the misconception that Nintendo only makes games for kids, highlighting titles like Perfect Dark and Ocarina of Time, and reveals the upcoming Dragon Ball Z, The Legacy of Goku for GBA. Another interesting point is the explanation for the change in the Fire Temple music in later versions of Ocarina of Time. The page also presents a power chart, listing 10 Nintendo games with unusually strange titles, and discusses the topic of female heroes in gaming, acknowledging the growing segment of girl gamers, and asking for reader input on their favorite heroines like Samus, Paula, or Sheik. Reader artwork from across the country is also featured. This page features the Artist's Gallery, showcasing creative reader artwork inspired by Game Boy Advance titles like Choo Choo Rocket, Sonic Advance, Rayman Advance, Super Mario Advance, and F-Zero Maximum Velocity. It also includes art for games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and Mario's Pro Skater, continuing the focus on community contributions seen on the previous page. The magazine asks readers for art based on overlooked games for a future issue. Additionally, the page highlights ESPN Final Round Golf 2002 for the Game Boy Advance, promoting its extensive content with 90 holes, 14 golfers, 5 courses, and multiplayer capabilities, bringing a portable golf experience to the handheld. This page features the Game Watch section, providing insider news and previews. The main focus is split between Nintendo's upcoming Space World event in Japan and Sega's intriguing new GameCube title, Super Monkey Ball. Nintendo is gearing up for Space World, showcasing a host of GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color games, including highlights like Pikmin and Wave Race, Blue Storm. Key figures like Miyamoto will be present, and a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament is planned. The event promises first hands-on experiences, with many anticipated titles. Meanwhile, Sega is bringing their arcade hit Super Monkey Ball to the GameCube. The game is described as a fun, physics-based challenge, where players guide a monkey in a ball through obstacle courses, collecting bananas. The article praises its simple concept, multiplayer fun, vibrant graphics running at a smooth 60 frames per second, and solid physics, concluding that it's shaping up to be a favorite. The page also includes previews for games releasing this month, such as Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Doom, Golden Sun, and Gradius Galaxies, with screenshots provided for each. Additional titles mentioned include NFL Blitz 2002 and Batman: Vengeance. This page features hands-on previews for exciting upcoming Game Boy Advance titles. Disney's Atlantis. The Lost Empire translates the movie into a GBA platformer, letting players control Milos through underwater action and puzzles. The legendary first-person shooter, Doom, makes its way to GBA, promising smooth 3D action and even multiplayer deathmatches or co-op for up to 4 players. Konami's classic space shooter series returns with Gradius Galaxies, delivering challenging arcade-style gameplay and impressive visuals. Finally, Golden Sun is shaping up to be a massive RPG from Camelot, featuring a deep magic system based on elemental powers and stunning graphics, looking like the next must-play adventure. This page dives into breaking news in the world of games, with a heavy focus on upcoming Game Boy Advance titles. We get previews for NFL Blitz 2002, bringing bi-hit football action to the portable. X-Men: Reign of Apocalypse, a side-scrolling brawler starring fan-favorite mutants like Wolverine and Storm. MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael, showcasing motocross racing with realistic environments. Frogger's Adventures: Temple of the Frog, evolving the classic amphibians gameplay into a 3D adventure. And Backtrack, a sci-fi shooter involving aliens and multiplayer link-up. The gaming news section covers announcements across multiple platforms, including FIFA 2002 on GameCube, and a Cartoon Network Toonami event tied into a GameCube game. There's also news about Crash Bandicoots heading to GBA, and a look at Imagination Keeper's Quest. Alongside the previews, the page features Game Watch forecast lists, giving a glimpse at numerous titles expected for Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy Color. Screenshots accompany many of the featured games, offering a visual taste of the action and graphics players can anticipate. This page focuses on Nintendo's online presence and upcoming web content. The Quick Bites section gives short updates on events like Camp Hyrule and features available on NintendoPower.com, including tips for games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and GBA titles. The hit list reveals the most visited Nintendo websites in June, with ExciteBike64.com topping the chart, showcasing how long visitors lingered. World Reports previews Space World, highlighting the upcoming GameCube launch details. Dedicated sections promote online resources for Game Boy Advance titles like Mario Kart, Super Circuit, offering track maps and time trial challenges, and Advance Wars, providing character profiles, screenshots, and even online comics. A large list compiles numerous Nintendo-related websites for players to explore. This page is a Walmart advertisement highlighting the latest Nintendo hardware and games available at their stores. The focus is heavily on the brand new Game Boy Advance, showcasing the console in multiple colors like Indigo, Arctic, Glacier, and Fuchsia, all priced at $89.96. They also feature key GBA titles like the excellent platforming compilation Super Mario Advance, the competitive racer Mario Kart Super Circuit, and the blisteringly fast F-Zero Maximum Velocity, all listed at $29.96. Compatible Game Boy Color classics that work on the GBA are also present, including The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and the highly popular Pokémon Crystal version. The page also includes Nintendo 64 offerings, featuring the enduring 64 Mario Kart and the Fantastic Jungle and Atomic Purple console variants. An ESRB ratings guide is included, and the ad promotes Walmart as the place for Nintendo fans to find the latest gear. This page delves into the multiplayer aspects of Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. The main article emphasizes that while the single-player mode is engaging, the full potential is unlocked through multiplayer using Game Link cables, allowing players to compete against up to 3 friends. The page breaks down the various multiplayer modes available. Link Power highlights that linking GBAs expands options, especially if each player has a game pack. Mario GP allows 2 players to race in Grand Prix against each other, and CPU opponents. Versus mode focuses purely on human competition, letting 24 players race head-to-head on unlocked tracks. Battle is a dedicated mode for 24 players, where the objective is to pop opponents' balloons in enclosed arenas. Finally, single-pack multiplayer is a convenient option allowing up to 4 players to race on 4 specific tracks, even if only 1 player owns the game pack, with everyone racing as different colored Yoshis. The page showcases various screenshots of these modes and tracks. This page serves as a comprehensive guide to mastering Mario Kart Super Circuit, focusing on character selection and fundamental driving techniques. It breaks down the roster into lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight classes, detailing the advantages and disadvantages of each. You'll find descriptions for every racer, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Bowser, alongside their speed and weight ratings represented by dots. The driving school section is crucial for competitive play, highlighting essential maneuvers beyond basic steering and acceleration. It covers initiating a perfectly timed rocket start for an early lead, executing a spin turn to recover quickly, utilizing agile jumping to avoid hazards, practicing savvy braking for tactical maneuvers, mastering drifting around corners, and performing the power slide to gain a speed boost out of turns. Screenshots illustrate each technique, providing visual cues to help players refine their skills and achieve better race results. This page delves into the crucial item strategy for Mario Kart Super Circuit, highlighting how items can significantly impact race outcomes regardless of driving skill. It covers the basics of the item box and then breaks down specific items. The spiny shell is the ultimate weapon, tracking the leader. You'll hear an alarming sound when it's coming for you, unless you're the target. Red shells home in on the racer ahead, or can be fired backward at tailgaters. Strategies like sharpshooting and lead insurance are discussed, along with avoiding them by turning into walls. Green shells are simpler projectiles that travel straight or ricochet, useful for straight-up shelling, backblasts, protective shelling, and even trick shots like angle angst. Finally, the banana, while less effective, can slow down rivals or act as yellow armor protection. Its effectiveness hinges on strategic placement, such as on narrow bridges or hidden areas, offering a slippery trick or banana surprise. Screenshots throughout demonstrate the use and effect of each item. This page continues exploring the strategic depth of Mario Kart Super Circuit's items. It highlights the coveted star, granting temporary invincibility and speed for off-road shortcuts or bullying rivals. The disruptive lightning item shrinks opponents, making them vulnerable, with strategies for using it effectively in crucial race moments. The mushroom provides a vital speed boost, useful for navigating rough terrain or executing challenging jumps. We also cover the triple green shells, which offer a defensive shield and can create chaotic ricochets, and the triple red shells, which add homing capability for overwhelming attacks. Finally, the mysterious Boo item provides invisibility, invulnerability, and the ability to steal items, adding significant strategic advantage, especially when behind the leader. Screenshots depict the use of these items across different tracks. The next page delves into the strategic world of battle mode in Mario Kart Super Circuit, shifting focus from standard races. It emphasizes that the core goal is hitting opponents and protecting your balloons. The page offers various battle-tested tips, such as selecting agile characters for better maneuverability, speed is life, the importance of accumulating items early, first strike, mastering spin turns for quick reversals, reversals of fortune, and being cautious with red shells to avoid self-inflicted damage, friendly fire. Bananas are highlighted as crucial for taking down opponents' balloons, bad news bananas, and keeping an eye on your radar is stressed for tracking rivals on symmetrical maps. Love your radar. The page also breaks down each of the 4 battle courses, detailing unique features like wall ricochets on course 1, shell-shocking, the camouflage center on course 2, clever clutter, the item density on course 3, item extravaganza, and the water hazards on course 4, kick 'em when they're down. It provides tactical advice specific to different areas within each arena. This page shifts focus to the main Grand Prix mode and unlockable content in Mario Kart Super Circuit, following up on the battle mode discussion from the previous page. It explains the structure of the GP Cups, each featuring 4 tracks, and how players must place in the top 4 to progress. The game offers different engine classes, advising players to start with the slower 50cc before tackling faster challenges. A unique feature is the coin system, where collecting coins increases speed, but losing them on collision makes running clean races important. Unlocking the final special cup requires earning gold in the first 4 cups. Players are also ranked after races, encouraging fast times and use of shortcuts to earn better grades and star rankings. Completing the initial cups unlocks retro tracks from the original Super NES Mario Kart, grouped into extra cups, adding many more courses to race on. The page also details the Trading Ghosts feature, allowing players to save their time trial runs and trade them via link cable to race against rivals, including racing against 2 ghosts at once for intense practice. The game offers significant replay value across its modes and unlockable content. This page kicks off the Nintendo GameCube countdown, highlighting it as a console set to inspire imaginations. It announces exclusive images and news from inside GCN development. The featured game is Luigi's Mansion, described as one of the launch titles releasing in November. Luigi, armed with only a flashlight and vacuum, must explore a haunted mansion to find his lost brother, Mario. The game blends spooky thrills with Luigi's comical reactions, showcasing the GCN's graphics while emphasizing imagination in its puzzles and gameplay. Screenshots show Luigi encountering ghosts, exploring different rooms like a gym and trophy room, and using the Game Boy Color for the map. The page also mentions developers like Mr. Miyamoto and Rare, and hints at other games like Star Fox and Interplay's Galleon. Islands of Mystery, giving a taste of the upcoming lineup. The next page continues the GameCube countdown, diving into more upcoming titles. Star Fox Adventures Dinosaur Planet is showcased, described as a deep action adventure from Rare, more akin to Zelda than previous Star Fox games. It's set for early 2002, boasting a vast world, complex story, intense action, and impressive GCN graphics with detailed lighting and textures, as seen in screenshots of Fox fighting dinosaurs and exploring environments. Shigeru Miyamoto's unique Pikmin is also featured, highlighted as a real-time strategy/puzzle game where you manage loyal Pikmin companions. Screenshots show Olimar leading his Pikmin against enemies. Finally, NBA Courtside 2002 is presented, building on its N64 roots with stunning GameCube graphics, detailed player models, and fluid action, promising realism and fun multiplayer options, with screenshots showing intense basketball plays. This page dives further into the upcoming GameCube lineup, starting with Interplay's Galleon, Islands of Mystery. This action-adventure is set for a December release, putting players in the shoes of Captain Rama for a swashbuckling adventure crafted by a designer behind Tomb Raider. The article highlights the ease of development on the GameCube, featuring screenshots of the game's characters and environments. The GCN countdown section continues, showing various system cables and mentioning potential third-party DVD playing units. It also previews coverage of Nintendo's Space World show, which will showcase GameCube and the connectivity with the Game Boy Advance, illustrated by a photo of the consoles linked together. Taking center stage is Klonoa, Empire of Dreams for Game Boy Advance, boldly claiming, "Other games just don't measure up." This is hailed as Klonoa's most extensive adventure on the handheld, challenging players with platforming, puzzles, and over 40 levels, clearly demonstrated in the vibrant gameplay screenshots surrounding the character art. This page shifts focus to the Game Boy Advance, with a deep dive into Mega Man Battle Network. It introduces the game's unique combat system, a hybrid of real-time and turn-based mechanics using special attacks called battle chips, alongside Mega Man's standard Buster Gun. The setting is the computer network, where battles take place on a grid. The article explains the story, following young Lan and his pet, Mega Man.X, as they fight evil in the digital world. It covers basic battle strategies like dodging and using chips, and highlights key menu features, such as managing battle chips in the folder, viewing collected chips in the library, checking Mega Man's status, using email, accessing items, and linking up for trades or battles in the network screen. The game is presented as a fresh take on the classic Mega Man formula. This page continues the focus on Mega Man Battle Network, serving as an early game guide. It provides maps of Acti Town and the cyberworld, explaining key locations and access points. The article walks through the initial steps of the game, from waking up and getting ready for school, to learning the basics of network combat and navigating the digital space. Key moments covered include finding hidden items at home, meeting Yai's pet Glide to begin the search for a missing program, battling viruses in the network, and facing off against Dex. It also highlights finding mystery data, accessing new network areas like Yai's portrait, and even dealing with real-world crises like an oven fire by jacking into appliances. A large image of Gutsman.exe is also featured, foreshadowing later events. This page continues the adventure in Mega Man Battle Network, first tackling the mysterious oven fire. You'll navigate the oven's cyberworld, using the ice block chip to put out flames. But a trap forces you back to the real world to douse the physical oven. Once Mega Man is rescued, you return to the cyberworld via a teleporter to confront the source of the problem. The guide then shifts to the school, detailing exploration for hidden items and battle chip trading opportunities. The main event is dealing with the eccentric substitute teacher, Mr. Higsby, who is running a bizarre WWW tutorial. The page provides tips for defeating the boss fireman, outlining his fire attacks, and how to avoid them. Finally, it suggests exploring Akiti Town for more secrets before resting up. The next page continues the guide for Mega Man Battle Network, detailing how to free the school's network from the WWW. You'll need to find passcodes hidden in the real world, rescue Mega Man from a force field trap in the Avroom cyberworld, and then face off against the boss Numberman, who attacks with numbered balls, dice, and timed bombs. After defeating him, the guide suggests visiting the subway, which is closed, redirecting you to the PC to access the Metro network. To enter the Metro, you'll need links from Dex and Mail. Dex requires a Recov 50 chip first, which can be found in Mail's PC, along with her link. Navigating the Metro leads to another boss fight against Gok Gok, who uses falling rocks, blocks, and a powerful laser. The guide notes the fight isn't over, teasing a familiar villain behind the WW's plans. This page features a preview of NHL Hits 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube, developed by Black Box Games and Midway. Nintendo Power visited the developers for an exclusive look, highlighting the game as a blistering launch title and praising it as one of the best hockey games they've played, complete with developer interviews and action-packed screenshots like the flaming player on the left. The page also includes a section showcasing redline bikes and several prominent BMX riders, posing the question, how far do you want to take it? This page is packed with classified information, offering up cheat codes and tips for several hot games. You'll find ways to unlock content in GT Advanced Championship Racing, including tracks, cars, and different modes like F1 and Go-Kart. For Ready 2 Rumble Boxing Round 2, learn how to access special characters like Michael Jackson and Rumbleman. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 players can get codes to open a cheat menu and unlock all levels with max cash. There's a handy continue trick for the challenging Rayman Advance, a code to unlock all areas in Army Men Advance, and codes for Star Wars Episode 1, Battle for Naboo to get new ships like the Sith Infiltrator, and even drive the AAT tank. The page offers brief insights and hints alongside the codes. This page dives deep into classified information, providing gamers with essential tips and codes. For Excitebike 64, you'll find codes to unlock the cheat menu and gain an exciting new perspective on the hill climb minigame. The Perfect Dark section features Code Copped, debunking a rumored cheat about finding cheese in the game world. Quake 2 players can get the passwords for the intense, normal, and hard settings of a secret level. For Sabrina, the animated series, Zapped! On Game Boy Color, there are codes to access a music menu and a level select, using passwords made up of character images from the show. All-Star Baseball 2001 offers a tip for creating a dominant pitcher in Create a Player mode. In The World Is Not Enough, you can learn a trick to refill your health and armor during bomb diffusion. Finally, The Legend of Zelda. Majora's Mask reveals how to acquire a cool-looking invisible Great Fairy Sword via a mailbox trick. You can also find information on how to send in your own codes. This page dives into Konami's Jurassic Park 2-1. Park Builder for the Game Boy Advance, a simulation game where you construct and manage your very own dinosaur theme park on Isla Sorna. The primary goal is preparing the park for visitors by building roads and walkways to guide them through attractions and facilities like shops and restaurants, as shown in the various in-game screenshots. Players collect rare dinosaur data to create impressive exhibits. As the park's popularity and income grow, you can expand facilities and upgrade existing ones through the management menus. It's all about strategic planning, keeping guests happy, and expanding your prehistoric empire. The page highlights the core loop of building, displaying dinosaurs, and managing guest flow, with features like bus routes and crosswalks. This page continues the deep dive into Jurassic Park 2-1. Park Builder, detailing the core mechanics of getting your park up and running and maintaining it. It covers the crucial process of Drana hunting, where you send excavation teams around the world to find rare dinosaur Drana samples. Once you have the Dina, you enter analysis and egg creation modes to literally play God and bring dinosaurs to life, highlighting the 140 known dinosaur chains you can collect. The page explains the dynamic dinos, discussing how dinosaurs have specific needs, like native terrain, dietary requirements, and aggressiveness, classifying them into carnivores, herbivores, and marine dwellers, and stressing the importance of placing them correctly. Before opening, you must advertise your park using various media like TV, internet, and newspapers, strategically targeting different demographics. Opening day is the culmination, showing the park ready for visitors. Maintaining the dream involves checking visitor happiness through opinions, adding new dinosaurs to keep things fresh, and reviewing your progress annually with a total score report. Finally, the game throws in Mother Nature's Fury, detailing devastating natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes that can damage your park and require repair. This page features the Dynadex for Jurassic Park 2-1. Park Builder, providing key stats like rarity and aggression for several dinosaurs you can find, alongside details on trading Dyna with friends. It also touches on the long-term goal and depth of building your park over time. The page prominently features Lady Sia, an action-adventure game where the heroine fights diverse enemies like Beastmen and Waspmen across various worlds to save her kingdom, utilizing elemental magic, transformations, and featuring dynamic anime-style art. This page features the Counselor's Corner, providing expert tips for several games. For The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, it explains how to obtain the all-night mask to hear Anju's grandmother's stories by wearing it in the Curiosity Shop on day 3. And how to reach the ladder behind the Great Bay Temple waterfall, using ice arrows after defeating the wart. It also details acquiring the Gibdo mask by playing the Song of Healing for the researcher in Icona Canyon's Music Box House. Army Men advanced tips cover freeing Rift by playing a memory game with colored key cards and avoiding damage on the bathroom floor by shooting the space heater to disable the electrified puddles. This page continues the Counselor's Corner, offering expert gameplay advice. For Banjo-Tooie, you'll find out how to deal with the annoying tin-top robots, how to survive the onslaught of fire and ice projectiles from Chilly Billy and Chilly Willy, and the methods for reaching the pot of gold high up in Cloud Cuckoo Land. The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages tips cover how to learn the essential tune of currents for navigating time, and a step-by-step guide for defeating the challenging smog boss within the Crown Dungeon using your Cane of Somaria. The Q and a Fast Facts section provides quick tips for Fire Pro Wrestling in Castlevania, Circle of the Moon, along with advice on maximizing the benefit of calling the game counseling phone line. This page dives into the strategic world of Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance. This turn-based tactical game is akin to a grand-scale game of chess, featuring a deep single-player campaign, various battle scenarios, and multiplayer options for up to 4 players. You command armies composed of over 15 different unit types, from infantry and tanks to submarines and helicopters, aiming to capture cities and decimate opponents. A key element is the use of commanding officers, Karikos, like Andy, Sammy, Max, and Olaf, each possessing unique special abilities that can turn the tide of battle by affecting unit performance and movement. Advisor characters like Nell also guide you through the complexities of warfare. Success requires mastering unit positioning, resource management, and effectively utilizing your co's powers to gain the upper hand against rival armies like the Blue Moon, Green Earth, and Yellow Comet forces shown on the included world map. This page delves deeper into the combat options and strategic depth of Advance Wars. The Tools of Destruction section showcases the impressive variety of units you command, covering ground troops like infantry and tanks, long-range artillery, essential transport vehicles, powerful naval forces, and versatile air units. The tactical nuance comes from learning how to best utilize each unit's unique movement, attack range, and target capabilities. Beyond the campaign, you can hone your skills in field training and the challenging war room, which tests your ability against strong AI opponents. Single-shot scenarios, or versus mode, allows customizable battles against friends or the computer, while Battle Across Lines unlocks competitive multiplayer through linked Game Boy Advance systems, putting your mastery of units and tactics to the ultimate test. This page continues exploring Advance Wars, detailing how players earn coins from completing war room and campaign missions to purchase additional battle maps for versus modes. It highlights the powerful map creation feature, allowing players to design custom scenarios with diverse terrain and units, which can be used to challenge friends or the computer and even traded. The content concludes with a strong endorsement, calling Advance Wars a deep, turn-based battle sim destined for a permanent spot in any Game Boy Advance library. The right side of the page features an advertisement for Castlevania, Circle of the Moon on the Game Boy Advance, showcasing striking character art, gameplay screenshots, and promoting key features like over 80 spell effects and multiple sub-weapons for battling Dracula and his minions. This page delves into Klonoa, Empire of Dreams for the Game Boy Advance, highlighting its mix of action and puzzle gameplay. It introduces the first world, Gazaland, explaining it serves as a tutorial area to learn Klonoa's abilities. The article details essential mechanics, like collecting stars to progress, utilizing blocks for platforming and puzzles, and using enemies or blocks for double jumps. It also covers environmental interactions, such as water level switches, directional arrows, sticky boxes for climbing, and navigating automatically scrolling stages. Finally, it introduces the first boss character, Chipple, and tactics for defeating him. The content provides a concise overview of the game's core concepts and initial challenges. This page explores more of Klonoa, Empire of Dreams, moving beyond the first world. It introduces the music-themed world of Priamil, World 2, where you'll use flying enemies called Tetons to reach high places. Specific visions like 22 and 23 show how to use enemies or blocks for double jumps and activate switches, while 25 and 27 detail platforming challenges involving moving platforms and airstreams. The unique rotary room puzzle, where the screen rotates 90 degrees, is also mentioned. The boss of Priamil, Musica, is defeated by throwing enemies at her belly. Next is the food-themed world of Geobob, World 3, featuring explosive boomers. Visions 31, 32, 35, and 37 demonstrate using boomers to destroy blocks, activate switches, and solve puzzles involving making boxes grow or shrink. The boss, Chirin, requires grabbing an enemy and double jumping towards him when he surfaces to deliver damage, while also dodging his fire attack. This page delves deeper into Klonoa, Empire of Dreams, guiding players through the later worlds. Santal, World 4, focuses on finding drive, Meridim, and mastering water switches, with images detailing solutions for tricky platforming puzzles in Visions 41 and 43. The journey continues to Leljimba, World 5, the game's final world, where the sticky box becomes crucial for navigation. Specific puzzle breakdowns for Visions 52, 53, and 54 illustrate how to manipulate objects and enemies to open paths. The guide also details the boss fight against Drive Maydim, explaining how to defeat him by throwing enemies at specific points. A small feature, the Cat's Meow, praises the game as a top-tier puzzle experience on the GBA, appreciating the retry feature. Separately, there's an advertisement for NFL Blitz 2002, promoting its fall 2001 release on PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. This page presents a guide for the Game Boy Advance game, LEGO Bionicle, Quest for the Toa. It focuses on the starting area, the village of Onukoro, outlining the primary objectives: rescuing the village chief, finding 2 Vuatamaka tree crystals, and recovering the stone Towaya. The guide provides numbered steps, with screenshots illustrating how to equip items like the fire staff and Volo Lutu launcher, navigate challenging cave environments with obstacles like rolling boulders and goo, and confront enemies such as the Vatuka beast. A beach basics section also details fundamental actions like shaking fruit, throwing projectiles, and manipulating objects, essential skills needed to tackle the chaos unleashed by Makuta and restore the island. The next page continues the guide for LEGO Bionicle, Quest for the Toa, covering the subsequent areas of Gakoro and Pokoro. Gakoro is presented as a water-filled region, requiring skilled use of items like the Volo Lutu launcher for navigating islands and dealing with unique enemies such as crabs and problem plants. The guide details steps for rescuing villagers, finding hidden health, and locating crystals and Toa stones through environmental puzzles. Pokoro, the arid wasteland, shifts focus to cautious movement around pits and effective use of Wanua's drill to handle enemies like scorpions and spiders, highlighting techniques like flipping foes and clearing obstacles. The walkthrough emphasizes mastering item usage and strategic movement in these distinct environments to progress. The next page dives into the Lekoro section of LEGO Bionicle, Quest for the Toa, guiding players through this jungle region. The primary goal here is rescuing the kidnapped chief, which rewards you with the Cow staff, essential for creating tree bridges to navigate otherwise inaccessible areas. The guide covers various challenges, including finding necessary items like Wanua's hammer to clear obstacles, using the Volo Lutu launcher, solving environmental puzzles like activating hidden switches, and obtaining crucial keys to unlock progress. It also touches on specific gameplay moments, like riding the Kiwa bird and the Koli football minigame. The page concludes by teasing the upcoming Tokoro and Kokoro regions and highlighting the game's multiplayer features via Game Link cable. This page features the Poke Center, a hub for Pokemon fans. It includes the PokeChat queue and a section, offering expert answers to player questions about Pokemon Gold, Silver, Yellow, Crystal, and Stadium 2. Topics covered include how to play Gold/Silver at accelerated speeds in Stadium 2, the effects of using items like iron on Pokemon Happiness, where to find specific fossils like the Dome fossil, locations for TMS like Frustration and Earthquake, and how to evolve certain Pokemon like Poliwhirl into Politoed. The page also highlights a Pokemon Poetry Slam, sharing a fan's poem and drawings expressing their love for the franchise. The next page continues the Poke Center Q&A, featuring Professors Elm and Oak at Pokemon University. They answer player questions, including how to find rare Pokemon like Remoraid and Marill in Gold, Silver, and Crystal by getting phone calls from specific trainers. The professors also provide solutions for the skill test battles in Earl's Pokemon Academy, detailing recommended Pokemon to use for each of the 7 challenges. The Coliseum section highlights a fans team featuring Jolteon, Girafarig, Arcanine, Smeargle, Kingdra, and Steelix, discussing the trainer's preference for unique strategies and combos, such as using Curse with Arcanine or King's Rock flinching with Jolteon. Another question addresses why Pokemon Stadium 2 lists moves who, and others learn at levels beyond their catch level, explaining that conquering the Johto Gym Leader Castle allows Pokemon to remember forgotten moves. Screenshots show Moltres moves and the move learning feature in Stadium 2. This page dives into the awesome world of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on Nintendo 64. It highlights how the game takes aerial acrobatics to the extreme, cementing its place in the Skating Hall of Fame. The feature covers the competitive 2 pros are better than 1 split-screen modes like Trick Attack, Graffiti, Horse, and Tag, emphasizing skill and challenging a friend. It also delves into mastering complex moves, described as board ballet, and showcases tight moves with dynamic camera angles. A section is dedicated to the Hanger level, detailing specific goals like grinding rails, grabbing letters for skate, and finding hidden money spots. Finally, the page covers the robust Create and Skate features, allowing players to build custom skaters, build a border, and design their own skate parks. THPS2 Park Builder, with easy-to-use tools, promising endless replayability. It's clear the reviewer thinks the game is sick-tacular, and the creation tools are fat. This page provides detailed walkthroughs for navigating specific levels and achieving objectives in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on Nintendo 64. It breaks down the School 2 campus, guiding players to hidden cache stashes, the secret tape, and rooftop areas. The competitive Marseille level is also covered, explaining how earning medals advances your career to places like the street-focused NYC City. The page offers specific tips for the NYC level, including collecting subway tokens and grinding rails. Using earned cash to boost your skater's stats is highlighted, emphasizing performance upgrades. These guides are essential for mastering tricks, finding secrets, and completing level goals. The next page continues the deep dive into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 levels, offering expert walkthroughs for several more iconic locations. It covers Venice Beach with tips on the Magic Bum obstacle and sky-high skillsy gaps. Philadelphia is detailed, guiding players to the secret tape fountain flight and how to tackle lip tricks in the skate park. The Skate Street level features strategies for the high wire grind and uncovering another secret area. Finally, the Bullring challenges, including the Wire the Cache objective and navigating the Bulls area, are explained. The page emphasizes building speed and utilizing stats for specific goals like grinds and big airs, mirroring the previous level guides. It concludes by hailing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 as the greatest skateboarding game ever, highlighting the fun, even through challenging spills. This page dives into Madden NFL 2002 for the Nintendo 64. Hailing it as the best Madden game yet for the console. It highlights the numerous game modes available, including training, exhibition, season, franchise, custom league, and multiplayer, each offering different ways to experience NFL action. New features like the 16-game gauntlet, the addition of the Houston Texans expansion team, fantasy teams for custom leagues, and detailed team play options in multiplayer are showcased. The Pigskin Hit Parade section praises the game's realism, AI, hitting animations, and accessible controls, mentioning the return of the 2-minute drill and the inclusion of a classic Madden mode inspired by the Super NES original. The page features several screenshots demonstrating the game's perspective and on-field action, emphasizing its depth and appeal to both hardcore fans and casual players. This page focuses on Madden NFL 2002 for the Nintendo 64, offering strategic tips and detailing its features. It provides diagrams and descriptions for effective offensive and defensive plays, helping players build their playbook. A table briefly lists NFL coaching records. The page highlights new elements, like the improved kicking meter and the mulligan feature, which allows players to replay a down. The return of collectible cards and the inclusion of the classic Madden mode, replicating the original NES/SNES game's visuals, are also covered. The 2-minute drill mode is presented as a way to practice late-game situations. The post-game wrap-up concludes by praising the game's depth and modes, solidifying its status as a standout title on the console. The next page invites readers to join the fight in the players' poll contest centered around the tactical game Advance Wars. The page features illustrations of key Advance Wars characters like Andy, Sammy, and Max, along with a space encouraging readers to picture themselves as a commanding officer in the Orange Star Army. The contest offers enticing prizes, including a grand prize of an original, framed illustration of the winner drawn as an Advance Wars character by the game's design team, along with multiple Game Boy Advance systems, game packs, and exclusive Army caps. Second-place winners receive a game pack and cap, while third-place winners get Nintendo Power t-shirts. The page also emphasizes that sending in the entry card counts towards the player's poll power charts, encouraging participation beyond just the contest entry itself. Official rules are provided for those looking to enter. This page delves into Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Curse of the Sword for Game Boy Color. It features the iconic Lara Croft and provides a guide through several key areas of the game. The story centers around Lara trying to recover a stolen ancient sword and break a curse. The guide walks players through challenging levels like the Labyrinthine Museum, tackling puzzles like powering up an elevator and finding keys, navigating the dangerous rooftops with a time limit, and even a dramatic confrontation involving a helicopter. The guide highlights the game's focus on exploration, platforming, and combat, offering insights into how to progress through tricky sections and overcome obstacles. This page continues the guide for Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Curse of the Sword on Game Boy Color, moving into the complex subway and the docks areas. It details objectives, like locating dollar bills to buy a train ticket in the subway, using the ticket to access new areas, and finding items like old valves, a generator key, a gas can, and the train lever to progress. The docks section covers diverse challenges, from manipulating crates and stopping a fire, to finding a chemical plant key, navigating toxic areas, and recharging batteries. Finally, it highlights timed sequences like the runaway train escape and a hazardous underwater submarine section, emphasizing careful movement and quick reactions to survive. This page continues the guide for Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Curse of the Sword, detailing the treacherous jungle and caves levels. It warns of environmental hazards like landmines and broken bridges in the jungle, and tough jumps and zombies in the caves, including strategies for the final boss encounter against the Bokor. The guide provides essential tips on item management and movement techniques. Separately, the page features a prominent advertisement for the acclaimed RPG sequel, Dragon Warrior 2i, released on Game Boy Color, highlighting the hero's quest and showing vibrant artwork and gameplay screenshots from the adventure. This page dives deep into Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 for the Game Boy Color, a follow-up to the original monster collecting adventure. It highlights the game's unique approach with two distinct versions, Kobe's Journey and Terra's Adventure, each featuring exclusive monsters and secret areas to discover. The core premise involves the player character moving to Great Log Island to open a monster ranch, only to find the island is sinking. Your quest is to prevent this watery demise by exploring various worlds accessed via magic keys, capturing and training a vast array of over 300 creatures to build a powerful team. The page showcases vibrant artwork of the main characters and monsters, like the winged slime and Warubu, alongside screenshots illustrating the top-down exploration and battle menus, promising plenty of adventure. This page delves deeper into the mechanics of Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. It explains how to capture wild monsters by fighting them or feeding them meat in turn-based battles. Team composition and a monster's wildness stat are crucial for success. The page also details the game's extensive breeding system, allowing players to combine two level 10+ monsters to create more powerful, obedient offspring, with hundreds of thousands of possible combinations. Magic keys are highlighted as the means to unlock new worlds, each offering unique monsters, and keys require appraisals to identify their purpose. Finally, the game features a variety of items and a vault system, influencing monster stats and personality. Screenshots show battle menus, breeding prompts, key appraisals, and item storage, alongside vibrant artwork of various monsters from the game. The next page dives deeper into Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, detailing the robust link features available. Beyond the single-player breeding and monster catching we've already seen, players can connect with friends to trade monsters and the special Dream Eggs, which contain potent creatures. You can also test your carefully raised teams in the monster arena against other players, with high stakes, as the loser's monster can be claimed by the winner. The page also highlights the secrets and hidden content unlockable through these linked modes. Additionally, there's an advertisement showcasing ocarinas inspired by The Legend of Zelda, available for purchase in various styles and bundles. This page dives into the world of Game Boy Advance, highlighting several games available this month. The list includes fan favorites like Pac-Man Collection, the action-packed Final Fight 1, puzzle titles Snood and Tang Tang, and the quirky Dracula, Crazy Vampire. The main focus is on Gadget Racers, a deep, customization-driven racing game. You start by building your own cartoon vehicle, then race circuits and quick races across various terrains, including water and dirt. Winning earns you gold to buy better parts, like engines and steering at the parts shop. And the garage lets you fine-tune your car and track your stats. The game encourages strategic racing, including using opponents as bumpers and paying attention to track signals. Gadget Racers offers a surprising amount of depth for a racing sim, with its extensive building and upgrading mechanics. This page explores the Pac-Man collection for Game Boy Advance, a compilation bringing classic and new Pac-Man experiences to the handheld. It features the original Pac-Man, Pac-Mania with its 3D perspective and jumping, the puzzle game Pac-Attack, and the modernized Pac-Man arrangement. The classic Pac-Man is presented in its original form, with adjustable lives and bonus points. Pac-Mania introduces a 3D view and jumping, adding strategic depth to avoid ghosts, and utilizing point-rich fruit that can turn into power pellets. Pac-Attack is a Tetris-style puzzler, where you line up blocks and ghosts to clear them with Pac-Man, offering various modes like falling food, plan to pack, buffet line, and more, including a unique Dust of Doom mechanic. Pac-Man arrangement stands out with complex, multi-level mazes, shape-shifting ghosts, and unique power-ups like Pac-Dash arrows, warp gates, and items that sack ghosts. The review highlights its frantic pace and challenging navigation. The collection offers a great mix of classic and innovative Pac-Man gameplay. This page covers Final Fight 1 for the Game Boy Advance, detailing this classic beat-em-up's transition to the handheld. It introduces the story of Mayor Hager and his allies Guy and Cody fighting the Mad Gear Gang to rescue Jessica. The article breaks down essential gameplay mechanics, including standard punches, the health-draining Extra Joy special move, jump kicks, and throwing enemies. It highlights the importance of picking up objects like weapons, health items, and scoring items found throughout the levels. Various enemies are previewed, from standard thugs and tough bosses like the first top thug and the sinister swordsman, to special encounters like a side battle against twin terrors and a tough police officer. The article also mentions customization options in the menu, and bonus stages like the car wreck minigame, emphasizing the game's frantic action and strategic use of available resources. The next page features the game Snood for Game Boy Advance. It highlights the game's premise of firing snoods into clusters of matching characters. The review discusses different modes like Time Attack, Classic, and Journey, as well as Puzzle Mode, which is described as the default and potentially most popular. Screenshots show gameplay examples from each mode, and various gameplay elements are mentioned, such as throwing stones, and the importance of strategic play. The article offers tips and insights for the different gameplay styles. This page features 2 Game Boy Advance games and a Game Boy Color game. The first game is Tang Tang, a platformer where you create and break blocks, facing enemies in a quest. It gives tips for overcoming the sun and snow bosses, along with advice for gameplay elements like stairs, block usage, and enemy engagement. The second game covered is Crazy Monsters Dracula for Game Boy Color. The review highlights the action, castle mazes, and classic monsters you'll encounter. It details how to get help from a witch, replenish health by draining humans, and how to defeat regular enemies and bosses. Advice includes staying out of the sun and water, using potions, and enlisting vampire allies. The next page presents a Now Playing segment, focusing on the latest releases for the Game Boy Advance. The first game covered is Mario Kart Super Circuit, where they highlight the classic gameplay and mechanics akin to the Super NES version with updated graphics. The review notes its tight controls, new courses, and smooth animation. The multiplayer function is a strong point, and overall, the game is deemed an irresistible addition to the GBA library. Next up is Pac-Man Collection, offering 4 Ghost Goblin games. The review praises the authentic graphics and updated gameplay. The collection is noted for its variety and fun. Finally, Klonoa, Empire of Dreams is featured, calling it a puzzle and platformer hybrid. The review highlights its unique gameplay mechanics and candy-coated graphics, concluding that it's a thinking person's platformer. This page reviews 4 Game Boy Advance games. Mega Man Battle Network, which scores a 4 out of 5 stars, focuses on cyber slugfests with a 3/4 view action style, praised for its interactive and original combat. Jurassic Park 2 Wine Park Builder scores 3.5 out of 5 stars, offering players park management with dinosaurs with over 100 dinosaurs to find and trade, emphasizing the fun element of unexpected disasters. Final Fight 1 scores 3.5 out of 5 stars, is described as a classic beat-em-up faithful to the arcade. Lastly, Lego Bionicle Quest for the Toa scores 2.5 out of 5 stars, is a basic adventure game with Lego-style puzzles, but is noted for lackluster graphics and difficult controls. The next page features reviews of 3 games. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for the N64 scores 4.5 out of 5, praised for improved gameplay and customization. Tomb Raider Curse of the Sword for Game Boy Color scores 3 out of 5, with reviewers noting detailed animation but messy play control. Madden NFL 2002 for the N64 scores 3.5 out of 5, with some reviewers feeling it's too similar to the previous year's version. The page also includes critic ratings and key information for each game, like player count and compatibility. There is also a key explaining genres such as adventure, arcade, fighting, platform, puzzle, RPG, racing, shooter, sports, and strategy. This page highlights upcoming previews in the next issue of the magazine. It features Star Wars, Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. There's also a visit to Space World in Tokyo, promising new screenshots and game release info. A look at Luigi's Mansion on the GCN is planned, alongside a strategy guide for Advance Wars on the GBA. Additionally, there will be content on Golden Sun, Wave Race, Blue Storm, Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, Super Monkey Ball, and Lady Sia. The right side of the page advertises the Club 2XS program, offering free items when you buy 2 specially marked games. Xena, Warrior Princess for Game Boy Color is a featured release, along with rocks. There are also images of other Game Boy Color games. It gives instructions on how to participate by sending in UPC codes and a check for shipping and handling. This page promotes Nintendo Power Advance Volume 2, featuring strategies, maps, and more. The cover showcases Mario Kart Super Circuit, and the volume includes guides for Advance Wars, Super Street Fighter 2, Turbo Revival, Jurassic Park 2-1, Park Builder, and Lego Bionicle Quest for the Toa. Bowser and Toad are featured, driving karts on a beach scene. It also hypes Konami Crazy Racers for the Game Boy Advance, showing screenshots and character art from the game. The ad highlights the game's 12-player mode, with the Game Boy Advance GameLink cable, 8 playable Konami characters, and 4 game modes. The game box is shown, and includes Konami's website, the E-rating, and Nintendo seal of quality.